even though Raonic comes in very rusty, do you pick him as the favourite this season?
Break 10s, Dominic Thiem.
It's just so hard to say.
Ready?
Look, possibly. I think Thiem...
You're sitting on the fence there.
Yeah, I am, but, you know, Thiem can play good tennis on hard court. He's just got to learn to play a little bit closer to the baseline.
Yeah, actually,
he tends to want to return and play from so deep. It kind of makes life difficult. If he just played a few metres closer to the baseline, I think he's got a nice game for hard court. And he's a good mover.
Played Djokovic, Kuyong earlier today. Djokovic winning that one 6-1, 6-4. Thiem did look a little rusty. Fell ill in Doha last week. Picked up a little bit of a fever there. Might not be fully recovered as yet. That's good tennis. Raonic had to shut his season down after playing in Tokyo in autumn. Had a really bad calf strain, had minor wrist surgery as well last summer. So he's had all sorts of problems throughout his career, injury-wise. But he's played some good tennis here in Melbourne, that's for sure. Remember, semi-finalist here in 2016, before again picking up a nasty injury in that semi-final against Murray. Is that the problem, Wally, with just being such a big unit?
Yeah, I think so. He's a big build, isn't he? Tall, but he carries a bit of weight. And some players who have a dynamic game are prone to injury. But necessity is the mother of invention. And pretty good from Dominic Thiem there. He stood up, he bunted the return, a la Stan Wawrinka, just kept himself in the point and then hugged the baseline. That's hard-court tennis.
Of all the big servers in the game today, how do you rate the quality of Raonic's delivery?
I'll be honest, I tend to rate great servers on the quality of their second serve. This is good from the team, isn't it? That's what we want to see. Take the ball early. And nice and composed, not overplaying either. But look, he's 6'6", so he's got this beautiful first serve. For me, the Raonic second serve, it's very solid, it's very dependable, but it's not as good as a Kyrgios second serve. Was there ever a better second serve than Pete Sampras?
No.
So I'll give him the nod of the greatest serve of all time, that I've seen anyway.
Fine-tuning of the team's service motion in the off-season as well. Slightly lowered the ball toss, perhaps, quickening the arm, trying to get a few more cheap points on a hard court. That one's pretty decent pace, 203 kilometres an hour.
He's got such nicely produced shots that, and he moves well. I believe he can play well on hard court. It might just be a mindset.
So why have we not seen that then?
Well, and sometimes players talk themselves out of it. And in my experience, he's played a little too deep over the years on a hard court.
Needs these 2 points here. It's more like it. Old faithful strikes again.
4-2 team.
You have to wonder, don't you, Jason, where the game is going. Nick Kyrgios, Milos Raonic, John Isner, Marin Cilic, just the pace and the size of some of these players.
What do you think, Pat?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm amongst giants, figuratively, as Thomas is about 6 inches taller than me and Rafa. Do you guys get sick of hanging around together? I mean, you're sitting on the bikes together. You've played each other how many times, you and Novak?
Not too many.
Too many? Can you remember?
No, I don't know.
I bet Novak knows. How many times have you played, Rafa? Can you remember?
50 something? No, 40. Come on.
You know, and who's got the record? I bet you know the record.
I don't know. Ask him.
You take it. I'm not going to ask Rafa. Shh.
I think I'm losing, huh?
I think he's losing. Oh, I don't know. There's not much in it, that's for sure.
Rafa's getting ready for his semi-final against Leighton Hewitt. I think he's got one of those bikes at home while he just watches TV on one of those things, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'd have a VersaClimber. That'd be his lounge room furniture. Yes. A rowing machine, a VersaClimber, a bike, a treadmill. That's how he relaxes.
Team with a 5-2 lead here. Raonic is looking a little rusty.
See, there's a little hard court play. Like you're sort of taught that if the ball is short and angled, the best thing you can do is go back short and angled. I mean, even if that goes in, he's got a lot of running to do to cover the forehand wing. So, you know, it's just little skills that a clay courter has on a clay court, but on a hard court, you just got to go about things slightly differently. And I guess there's an element of coaching to that as well. I mean, even if that backhand went in, I mean, he was going to have to put his running shoes on, basically. Just little moments, which in tiebreak tens can become big moments. But that word rusty that you used with Raonic, not the kind of adjective you want to describe someone in this sort of format, is it?
And especially someone like Raonic, because he's always the type of player that likes to play a lot of tennis, and the rest of his game does drop off dramatically, doesn't it? Serve's always there or thereabouts, but not quite got the feel on the ground strokes as yet.
Big four.
But that's going to keep him there or thereabouts. Unreturnables, aces.
Another one of those players with that slightly abbreviated swing. Team staying up on the baseline to return a second serve. Normally likes to drop back a little bit. Oh, yes. Like it.
But it's linear, isn't it? It's not the big Rafa clay court low to high. He actually just takes the racket fairly straight back, straight through. I mean, this guy can play on a hard court. Let's give him another couple of years. See if he can do some damage at the Australian Open or the US Open.
Just 24 years of age. Time's on his side. Did reach a career-high ranking of number 4 in the world's tail end of last season. So he's been knocking on the door for a while. Qualified for the season-ending championships. That's a lovely combination of forehands from Raonic.
He's a bit of a workhorse too, Thiem, isn't he? He plays every week. I think, given his ranking and where he's in the game now, he probably needs to fine-tune his schedule a little bit and focus on the majors.
It's been a problem, hasn't it? The last couple of seasons, he's looked very tired come sort of August, September.
Yeah, he just plays every week and does well every week.
Which is fine. Initially, you've got to put some miles in the legs, haven't you? But then once you start breaking into the top 10, you've got to be very sensible, especially if you want longevity in your career. All of those younger players can certainly learn from the likes of Roger Federer in that regard. A half chance here, perhaps, for the Canadian. Look at a second serve. That's another impressive strike off the forehand. And Raonic right back in it now.
Well, it's brave, but you're almost better off getting Raonic to hit his first forehand on the run and then trying to open up that backhand wing. But if Raonic can sort of tuck himself into that backhand corner, that's when his forehand becomes a little more dangerous.
Serve has always been just that. So pretty much medium pace for him, 199 kilometers an hour, but inch perfect. 7 apiece. How do you like them apples?
I mean, how do you get a racket on that? He's 4 meters away from that.
8-7 run.
And how quickly things can change. Suddenly Thiem very much with his back against the wall. Must win points here. decent return, but that's another one of those shots that you were talking about earlier, Wally. Oh, shot selection.
Yeah, I mean, he's dragged into the court again. So sometimes if you push deep, best to go back deep. You drag wide and short, go back wide and short.
Match point.
Mr. Thiem is challenging the call on the right service line.
Look, I've got some very thick reading glasses here in front of me. I thought that was good.
That's fast, that's for sure. 218 kilometers an hour. Second serve, match point down. Missed it. I need to change those glasses, really.
Raonic
It's a big win
wins.
for Raonic. No doubt about it. He was suggesting earlier to Adam that he backs himself in a tie-break, and he's done just that this evening. It's Raonic who's safely through to the semi-finals at the expense of Dominic Thiem.
Here with Dominic Thiem just off court, not far away, mate. Overall, what's your assessment of what you put out there?
No, it was a great match. Yeah, I shouldn't. He served me a lot of aces, and it's fine. It goes fast, and was a very fun match.
How's your preparation been going over the last couple of months for the 2 weeks and the rest of the year as well? Because you had such a great last couple of years on tour.
It went very well, but I just got a big hit.
You won't get too many of those, I dare say. Well done tonight. Thanks for coming out. See you in the doubles a bit later on, and good luck next week.
Thanks.
Over to Milos with Pat Cash.
Well, we've got the big fella here. You must be very happy. You've had almost a bit of a nightmare 6 months with injuries.
Yeah, it's been tough, so it's good to be here. It's good to be in the rhythm of just playing tournaments again and having the joys of competing.
Yeah, it's you said before that maybe your serve will keep you in it, but I think that's fair to say. We've got a couple of big serves here that you threw in. This is not the first time that your serve has got you out of trouble in your career.
No, I'd say if the serve's not there, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. But the wrist injury, obviously your wrist is pretty good. That's what's kept you out for a few months, and then you had something else.
Yeah, a little bit of a knee, just things, you know. When it rains, it pours. So hopefully, sunnier days ahead.
Oh, well, you're getting close to $250,000, mate. So you must be reasonably happy about that. Good luck in the next round.
Thank you.